Have you ever stood up for just a second, only to find your dog has already claimed your seat, like it's been theirs all along? Maybe they even nudge you out of the way gently, or stare at you with those big eyes daring you to ask for it back. At first it might seem cute, or even a little annoying. But what if I told you? This little habit actually hides something much deeper. You see, dogs don't do things randomly. Every choice they make, even where they sit, comes from instinct, emotion, and connection. And when your dog takes your spot, it's not just about finding a warm cushion. It could be about missing you, trusting you, or even loving you in a way that words can't explain. Over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover 9 surprising reasons why your dog keeps stealing your seat, and what each one reveals about your bond with them. So let's begin, not with a command or a fact, but with one of the simplest, most overlooked reasons. That might just change how you see this little habit forever. Number 9. They love your scent to your dog. Your scent isn't just familiar, it's everything. Imagine your scent as a warm, invisible blanket that stays behind even when you're gone. The moment you leave your chair, that space becomes a memory soaked in comfort, love, and security. And for your dog, that's irresistible. Dogs experience the world through their noses. Their sense of smell is up to 100,000 times more sensitive than ours. While we might walk past a chair without a second thought, your dog walks straight into what feels like a symphony of emotions, your scent woven into the fabric, your warmth lingering like sunlight on an old porch. When your dog curls up in your seat, they're not just borrowing a spot. They're wrapping themselves in you. It's their way of staying close, even when you're not there. That cushion still holds traces of the way you sat, the stress or calm in your body, the natural oils of your skin, even the faint traces of what you ate for lunch. To your dog, that's not just information, it's intimacy. And think about this in the wild dog stick close to their pack. Sleeping together isn't just about warmth, it's about bonding. It's protection, trust, and connection all rolled into one. So when your dog chooses your seat, they're not just being cute. They're saying, "You're my person. And this right here is where I feel safest." So the next time your dog claims your spot, the second you stand up, don't be too quick to shoo them away. They're not just being opportunistic. They're reaching for the one thing that makes them feel secure in an unpredictable world, the scent of you. And speaking of feeling secure, there's another reason dogs love your seat, and it has nothing to do with smell. It has everything to do with being seen. Let's move on to reason number 8. They crave your attention. Let's be honest, your dog knows exactly how to get your attention. And taking your seat, it's one of their favorite moves in the playbook. You might think they're just being sneaky or silly, but what they're really doing is stepping onto center stage. That seat you just left to them, it's the spotlight. And they've just made their grand entrance. Dogs are masters of presence. They don't send texts. They don't wait in silence. When they want you, they show you. Jumping into your spot is like them gently tapping you on the shoulder and whispering, "Hey, notice me." And not just from across the room, right there. Right where you were. Right where your energy still hums in the air. Sometimes they'll sit proudly in your chair and look you right in the eye-tail, thumping as if to say, "Look what I did." Other times they'll nudge up next to you, half in the seat, half in your lap, folding themselves into your space, like a love letter sealed in fur and heartbeat. It's not just affection, it's strategy. Your seat has power. It means proximity, attention, closeness. And they know it. For a dog especially, one bonded deeply to their human being, ignored, feels like a fading light. So they spark it back to life, the only way they know how stepping into your world, your warmth, your space. And in that moment, they're not just claiming a cushion, they're claiming you. Your gaze, your hands, your time. And here's the twist: the more you react, whether with laughter, surprise, or gentle scolding, the more they learn that this works. They're not being manipulative, they're being intuitive, smart, desperate in the most tender way. But there's another reason they might take your seat. One that has nothing to do with emotions and everything to do with temperature. Let's talk about reason number 7, and the secret your body leaves behind every time you get up. Number 7. They seek your warmth. Think about the last time you left your chair. It wasn't just empty, it was warm. That leftover heat radiating gently from where your body had been is like a silent invitation. And to your dog, that warmth is magnetic. Not because it's yours, at least not only because it's yours, but because it feels like a sunbeam with your name on it. Dogs are drawn to warmth the way flowers stretch toward the light. They are heat-seeking by design. With body temperatures higher than ours and fur that sometimes traps more chill than comfort, they're constantly searching for little pockets of heat, places where they can melt into softness and safety. Your seat, freshly abandoned, is the perfect spot. It holds the trace of you, but it also holds the echo of comfort. It's like your body left behind a whisper, and they just want to lie in it a little longer. But it's more than just physical comfort. Warmth to a dog is emotional too. In the wild, dogs curl up together for survival, piles of fur and breath, keeping one another safe through cold nights. At home, that instinct is still alive. So when your dog hops into the seat you just left, they're not just enjoying the temperature. They're honoring an ancient ritual. Curling up in your warmth is their way of feeling close, connected, and calm. And maybe you've noticed once they settle in, they don't move quickly. They turn a few circles. They sigh. They tuck their paws and close their eyes like they've found a secret hiding place no one else knows about. That seat isn't just a spot, it's a sanctuary. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Sometimes it's not about scent, or love, or even warmth. Sometimes your dog takes your seat because they see it as yours. And that means it's valuable, desirable, worth claiming. So let's go deeper into reason number 6, and the subtle, surprising way dogs use seats to bond with us without saying a single word. Number 6. That's how they bond with you. Have you ever noticed the way your dog follows you from room to room, not just with their feet, but with their gaze, their breath, their presence? They don't always want something. They just want you. So when they curl into the seat you just left, it's not just about comfort or curiosity. It's a quiet act of connection, a gesture of emotional mirroring, their version of a hug. In the animal world, bonding doesn't always look the way we expect. It's not about words or grand displays. Sometimes it's about sharing space. Dogs in the wild will lie side by side backs, touching, breathing in rhythm. It's a form of trust, of mutual peace. At home, that instinct lives on. Your dog isn't just taking your seat, they're saying, "This is where we belong." And think about how they do it. They don't race in with chaos. Often they wait. A beat, a pause. They watch you rise, they see the shift in energy, and then they ease into the space you left behind. It's deliberate, gentle, almost reverent. As if by sitting where you sat, they're keeping the conversation going. Even in silence. Some dogs will even scoot closer, touching your side without demanding anything. Just a shared moment. A physical echo of your presence. They don't need the whole chair. Just enough of it to feel like they're still next to you. Still part of whatever you're doing. Still in sync. And this is where things get deeper. Because to a dog, bonding isn't always about closeness. It's about continuity, about preserving a feeling. And by settling into your seat, they're threading their world into yours. Stitch by stitch, scent by scent, sit by sit. But sometimes it's not just love or instinct. Sometimes it's curiosity that drives them. A need to explore what you've touched, to decode the invisible stories left behind. And that brings us to reason number 5, and why your dog sometimes circles your seat like a little detective on a mission. Number 5, curiosity. They're investigating your world. Have you ever seen your dog approach your chair slowly, nose to the cushion, sniffing like they've just stepped into a crime scene? Their tail might be still, their eyes focused, their breath quiet. It's not random. It's instinct. Because to your dog, your seat holds clues like a living diary made of scent and shape, and they're determined to read every line. Dogs are natural investigators. The world speaks to them in whispers we can't hear. Every place you've been, every feeling you've had, leaves a trace. And your seat? That's ground zero. It holds your mood, your movement, the pressure of your body, the story of your day. Did you sit there after a long walk? Did you eat a snack? Were you calm? Anxious? Your dog can tell, not in words, but in signals woven into the very fabric of the cushion. When they circle the chair or pause before jumping in, they're not just looking for comfort. They're exploring, learning, gathering pieces of you. Your dog sees your seat, like a child might see a parent's jacket, something sacred, something worth discovering. And in that discovery, they feel close to you again. Sometimes they'll dig a little with their paw, or nudge the side with their nose. It's not mischief, it's curiosity in motion. They're mapping the warmth, testing the softness, checking for crumbs or leftover smells. They're asking, what were you doing here? And more importantly, can I be part of it? But once the mystery is satisfied, they don't just move on. No, they often settle in as if to say, now I understand. Now I belong here too. Yet not all moments are about investigation. Sometimes your dog takes your spot simply because they can sense something you can't. Something in your energy, your heartbeat, your stillness. And what they do next is all about comfort on a deeper, more intuitive level. So let's unravel that in reason number 4. They can feel your comfort. There's something remarkable about the way dogs tune into us, not just our words or routines, but the subtle things. The quiet, the calm, the stillness in our breathing, the way we hold our shoulders when we're relaxed. And somehow they know. They notice. They feel it in their bones. So when you stand up from your chair, your dog isn't just taking your spot. They're stepping into your calm. Think about it. Your favorite seat isn't just comfortable because of its shape. It's comfortable because of how it holds you. The rhythm of your breath settles there. The echo of your heartbeat lingers in the cushion. And to your dog, that chair becomes a pocket of peace. A space where you felt safe. A space that now calls to them like a whisper in the air. When your dog curls up in that very spot, they're doing more than seeking softness. They're aligning themselves with your energy. They've seen you sit there, watched your shoulders drop, your eyes soften, your tension melt. And in their own quiet way, they want that too. Not just the warmth, but the feeling that came with it. The emotional blueprint you left behind. They don't need explanations. They don't need an invitation. They just move gently into that space, as if drawn by gravity, by something ancient and unspoken. Because dogs don't just want to be near us. They want to be us for a moment, to feel what we felt, to rest the way we did. And just when you think it's all about emotions, there's a more primal reason behind this behavior, something far older than comfort or scent. It's about territory, ownership, the deep-rooted instinct to claim what's valuable in their world. Let's unpack that next in reason number 3. They're claiming their territory. Sometimes your dog doesn't wait for you to leave the seat. They push their nose into your side, nudge your leg, or gently muscle their way into your space, as if to say, "Make room. This belongs to me now." It's not disrespect. It's not mischief. It's instinct pure and ancient. Dogs, no matter how sweet or domesticated, carry the DNA of wild canines. And in the wild territory is survival. It's not just about space. It's about identity, safety, and control. When your dog takes your seat, they're not just curling up for a nap. They're putting a flag in the ground, marking their place in your shared world. Not as a rebellion, but as a declaration, "I belong here. This space, this scent, this warmth, it's part of me." They might rub against the cushion knead with their paws or circle before settling. These aren't random actions. They're rituals. Each movement leaves behind their scent subtle signals that say, "I've been here. I own this," even if only for a moment. And it's not about dominance. It's about comfort in familiarity. Like writing their name on a favorite book or hanging a picture in a room, they're making your space a little more theirs. And if you try to reclaim the seat, you might notice a glance, a tiny tilt of the head, maybe even that smug little look dogs give when they've won something. It's not arrogance, it's satisfaction. Because for them, securing a space, especially one tied to you, means they're safe, grounded, and in control of their world. But here's where things get even more layered. Because sometimes it's not just territory. It's about status. A silent social ladder. A hierarchy. One where your dog may be trying to show you exactly where they think they stand. And that's what we'll explore in reason number 2. They're climbing the social ladder. Have you ever felt like your dog was testing you just a little? Maybe they slide into your seat before you've even fully stood up. Or maybe they nudge your leg with quiet insistence, claiming the cushion while looking you dead in the eye. It might feel playful, even cheeky. But behind that gaze, there's a centuries-old instinct at work. One that has nothing to do with comfort and everything to do with status. Dogs are social animals, not just affectionate, but hierarchical. In every group, from wolves in the wild to pups in the park, there's an order, a subtle dance of roles, routines, and unspoken rules. Your home. It's no exception. It might not feel like a pack, but to your dog, it absolutely is. And sometimes, taking your seat is their way of gently testing where they stand in that structure. They're not challenging you, not in a confrontational way, but by slipping into your spot, especially when you're still near, they're saying, "What happens if I take the top place?" In many dog groups, the leader claims the best resting spots, those with the view, the warmth, the height, the closeness to resources. So when your dog takes your seat, they might be exploring what it feels like to be at the top of the ladder, even just for a moment. And watch their body language when they do it. The raised head, the stillness. Sometimes even that regal look, chin high back, straight, as if they're wearing an invisible crown. It's not just a nap. It's a statement. A small, silent question. Am I the leader now? But here's the twist. They don't always want to be. Often they're looking to see where you place them. Your reaction, your boundaries, your energy, that's what tells them who they are. So in claiming your seat, they're not just asserting power. They're asking a question only you can answer. And finally, we arrive at the most endearing reason of all. One that has less to do with instincts and more to do with imitation. Because sometimes when your dog takes your seat, it's not about status or scent at all. It's about love. Let's finish this journey with reason number 1. They're mimicking you. There's something almost magical about the way dogs mirror us. Not just in routine, but in rhythm, in silence, in stillness. If you tend to sit in the same chair each day, your dog notices. They've watched you relax there, read there, maybe sip your coffee, or close your eyes after a long day. And in their own quiet way, they're learning not just your patterns, but your presence. When your dog takes your seat, it's not just a choice, it's a tribute. They're stepping into your world not to challenge it, but to become part of it. Dogs are masters of mimicry, especially with the people they love most. They walk when you walk. They pause when you pause. And sometimes they rest where you rest simply, because that's where you find peace. It's almost like they're trying to understand you by becoming you. Like a child slipping into a parent's shoes or curling up in a sweater that still smells like home. It's not about possession. It's about connection. It's about saying, you are the center of my world, and I want to feel what you feel, even just for a little while. And sometimes that mimicry becomes a ritual. You get up, they slide in. You smile, they sigh. You return, and they look up at you with a soft, knowing gaze, as if they're saying, "See, I'm with you." Always. There's no performance here, no trick. Just a living, breathing mirror of your own routines and comforts. So the next time you come back to find your seat taken, try not to see it as an interruption. See it as an offering, a reflection, a quiet form of love. Because in that simple act, your dog isn't just claiming a cushion. They're claiming you, your scent, your habits, your life, as something worth following. And now that you know the 9 reasons why your dog takes your seat, the question becomes, what will you do with that knowledge? Before we close, let's talk about how to respond gently, wisely, and why this tiny moment might be a bigger opportunity than you ever imagined. Now you know it was never just about the chair. That simple moment when your dog hops into your spot isn't random. It's not a habit. It's a language. One without words. A way for them to say, "I love you. I trust you. I miss you." Or even, "I want to be like you." Whether it's your scent, your warmth, your energy, or your example, they're drawn to it. To you. And maybe next time you see them curled in your place, instead of asking them to move, you'll pause, smile, sit nearby, share the space for a little while longer, because what they're really asking for is closeness. And for a dog, closeness is everything. Of course, if you need your seat back, it's okay to gently redirect them, offering a cozy blanket, a favorite spot, or just your hand. They don't need much, just a reminder that they still belong beside you. These little moments, quiet, ordinary, overlooked, are often where the deepest bonds live. Your dog isn't trying to be stubborn. They're trying to stay connected. And now that you know the reasons, you can meet them with more understanding, more grace, and maybe even more love. So what does your dog's favorite seat say about your relationship? If this video helped you see things differently, give it a like and share it with someone who loves their dog as much as you do. Drop a comment and tell us, has your dog ever stolen your seat? What do you think they were trying to say? And don't forget to subscribe. Because in the next video, we're diving into 10 surprising things your dog wishes you understood, but can't say out loud. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Why does your dog bite? Most people think it's always about aggression or dominance, but the truth is far more surprising. Your dog's bite isn't random. It's a message, a code they've been trying to send you all along. And once you understand it, your bond with your dog will never be the same. In the next half-minute, you'll discover 3 real reasons behind this behavior and a simple quick test to know exactly what your dog is trying to say. If your dog bites lightly while chasing your hand, that's pure hunting instinct, a remnant of their wolf ancestry. But if your dog presses close against you and then gives a gentle nibble, it's often their way of syncing emotions, showing love and comfort through touch. And when your dog pants, follows your every move, then bites anxiously, that's not play at all. It's separation, anxiety, a warning you cannot ignore. Here's a simple test pause for just 10 seconds. If your dog calms down, it's instinct. If it presses in closer, it's affection. If it gets restless, it's anxiety. Now, let's dive deeper into each type of bite and uncover what your dog is really trying to tell you. Number 1. Why does your dog bite? The hidden language few humans understand. Why does your dog bite? It's a question every owner asks at some point, often with confusion or even hurt feelings. Most people assume biting means anger, dominance, or even rejection. But here's the truth. Your dog's bite is not random. It is not cruelty. It is language. Imagine living in a world where words don't exist, only signals, gestures, and instincts passed down from ancestors. That's the world your dog lives in, and every nip or nibble is a syllable in that secret vocabulary. Once you begin to translate those messages, your relationship with your dog transforms. Suddenly, the bite that once felt like betrayal becomes a bridge, a whisper from an ancient bond shared between wolves and humans. And just like a lock that clicks open with the right key understanding, your dog's bite will unlock a deeper trust than you ever thought possible. But here's where it gets fascinating. The bite is almost never meaningless. It has purpose, it has instinct, and sometimes it has love. Number 2. Dog bites are rarely random. Purpose, instinct, and affection. Think about the last time your dog bit you. Was it during a game of tug-of-war? Was it in the middle of a cuddle session? Or maybe when you tried to pull them away from something they shouldn't eat? Each of those moments tells a different story. Dogs rarely, if ever, bite out of nowhere. To them, every bite is a signal. Some are instinctive echoes of their wild ancestors, who survived by hunting, catching, and holding prey with their jaws. Others are affectionate, tiny reminders that even teeth, when softened, can be instruments of love. And sometimes biting is about setting a boundary, as if your dog is drawing an invisible line with a touch of teeth. The challenge for us humans is that we often collapse all these meanings into one bad behavior. But what if the bite is not bad at all? What if it is communication waiting to be understood? That's where the story turns, because once you learn to see the bite not as a threat, but as a sentence in your dog's language, you can read them in ways you never imagined. Number 3. Dogs as masters of body language. Dogs don't speak with words. They never will. But they have mastered a language of the body that is richer, more nuanced, and often more honest than any human tongue. The wag of a tail is not just joy, it can be anxiety, hesitation, or even warning. The way their ears tilt, the narrowing or widening of their eyes, the stiffening of their shoulders, all of it is a living script. And nestled inside that script, often misunderstood, is the bite. Teeth are not always weapons. They are punctuation. A quick nibble can mean excitement, while a firmer bite may be a period ending the conversation. Dogs live in a symphony of signals, and we are the clumsy ones, often deaf to the melody. But if you pause, if you learn to watch as much as they watch you, you begin to see the poetry in their movements. A dog does not simply bite. It speaks through that act. And here's the question. Are you ready to listen? Because the bite misunderstood by many is one of the clearest words in the canine dictionary. Number 4. Play biting. Instinct practice and inhibited bites. Picture a puppy with its siblings. They tumble across the grass ears, flopping paws, pushing tiny teeth flashing as they wrestle and nip. These bites are not meant to harm, they are practice. Every playful snap is rehearsal for the wild, a memory of wolves chasing prey on open plains. But as puppies grow, something miraculous happens. They learn bite inhibition, the art of pulling back, of softening their power. When your dog nips at your hand during play, they are not treating you like prey. They are including you in that ancient practice. Your moving hand becomes the rabbit. The rope toy becomes the deer. And yet, they hold back, never unleashing the full force of their jaw. It's instinct wrapped in control, a paradox only dogs can master. And here's the part that keeps owners guessing. Why would a dog who loves you pretend to hunt you? The answer lies in the dual nature of the bite. It is both ancient instinct and modern bonding, both a game and a lesson in trust. Your dog is not attacking you. It is inviting you into the oldest game of all. Number 5. Affectionate nibbling. The love bite during bonding moments. You're sitting on the couch lost in thought when your dog climbs beside you, rests its head on your lap, and gently nibbles your hand. For a moment, you flinch should you stop this. But then you notice the softness in their eyes, the slow wag of their tail, the rhythm of their breath. This is no attack. This is affection in its rawest form. Dogs, like humans, crave connection through touch. Just as we squeeze the hand of someone we love, dogs use their mouths to say, "You belong to me. You are my family." Behaviorists call it the love bite, a gentle nip, often mixed with licking, a ritual born from the way littermates groom and bond with each other. When your dog does this, it is not testing your patience. It is pulling you closer into its inner circle. It is trust made visible, vulnerability made tactile. And once you see it for what it is, that nibble becomes less of a bite and more of a love letter written with teeth. But affection is only one side of the story. Sometimes a bite is not about love. It is about limits. Number 6. Overstimulation bites. When petting crosses a threshold. At first it feels perfect. Your dog leans against you, their eyes half closed, enjoying every stroke of your hand. You think, this is love, this is peace, and then snap. A sudden bite breaks the moment, leaving you startled, even hurt. But this isn't betrayal. It's biology. Dogs, like humans, have limits to touch. Their skin is laced with receptors far more sensitive than ours, and what feels soothing at first can quickly become too much. Imagine someone tickling you long after you've stopped laughing. That creeping irritation is what your dog feels. The bite is not rejection of you. It is rejection of the overstimulation. It is your dog's way of saying, "Enough, please." And here lies the challenge we often miss: the earlier warnings. The tail twitch, the ears pulling back, the sudden widening of the eyes. All subtle signals that your dog is nearing their threshold. Miss them, and the bite arrives as punctuation. But respect them, and the bite never comes. This is not about fear, it's about communication. The question is, will you learn to hear the whisper before it becomes a shout? Number 7. Warning signals before a bite. Tail, ears, eyes, breathing. A dog's bite almost never comes without a warning. The tragedy is that most owners never notice until it's too late. Before the teeth, there is a story told in silence. Watch closely, and you'll see it: the tail that stiffens like a drawn bow, the ears folding back as if shielding from sound, the pupils expanding until the eyes seem too wide. Even the breath changes fast, shallow, urgent. These are not random tics. They are the canine equivalent of shouting, "Stop, I'm at my limit." But to us, too often distracted, they pass unseen. And when we ignore these whispers, the bite comes as the only language left. Think of it like a storm. The sky darkens, the air thickens, the wind shifts, signs are always there. Only the untrained believe lightning is sudden. Your dog is no different. Every nip, every snap is the final flash after a buildup of signals. To learn their language is to walk beneath that storm with understanding instead of fear. And once you see these signs, you can prevent the bite not by control, but by respect. Number 8. Social biting. Mirroring behavior from dog-to-dog play, and grooming dogs are not solitary creatures. They are pack animals wired to live, play, and bond through touch. Among themselves, they wrestle nip and lick as a kind of social glue. A quick nip during play is not aggression, but rhythm, a pause, a shift in the dance of interaction. During grooming, one dog may lick another's ear, then follow with a tiny bite, not punishment, but punctuation. When your dog does this to you, it isn't betrayal. It is inclusion. You have crossed the invisible threshold from owner to packmate. The love bite you receive while scratching behind the ears is the same gesture your dog would use with its siblings. It is saying, "You are family." And isn't that extraordinary? We long to be loved by our dogs, and when they bite gently, they are giving us the highest compliment in their vocabulary. But here's the catch: context is everything. The same teeth that signal belonging can, in another moment, mark irritation or stress. To know the difference, you must read not only the bite, but the body wrapped around it. Number 9. Boundaries matter. Respecting no-go zones like belly or paws builds trust. Every relationship, even the closest, is built on boundaries. For dogs, these boundaries are often physical. Stroke their belly when they are not in the mood, touch their paws when they are unprepared, and you may find teeth where you expected affection. This is not disobedience, it is honesty. Dogs cannot say no with words, so they say it with distance, with stiffened posture, or finally with a bite. The irony is, respecting these boundaries does not push your dog away, it draws them closer. Think of your own life. Don't you trust the people more who honor your stop than the ones who push past it? The same truth applies to your dog. When you respect their signals, you are telling them your voice matters, and that respect over time becomes trust. Ignore it, and the bite is inevitable. Honor it, and the bite never comes. This paradox is the secret. The more you respect a dog's no, the more freely they offer their yes. And in that trust lies the bond every dog owner longs for. Number 10. Emotional bites. Affection, frustration, fear, and anxiety, all expressed through teeth. Dogs, like humans, are creatures of emotion. But unlike us, they cannot cloak those emotions in words. Their teeth become the blunt instrument of expression. Sometimes the bite is affection, a playful nibble in the middle of cuddles. Sometimes it is frustration, the sharp release of energy when the game ends too soon. Fear can sharpen the bite into defense, while anxiety twists it into nervous repetition. To us, it feels unpredictable. To them, it is the only honest option. Picture it: a dog left alone too long paces, the floor whines at the door, then greets you with frantic nips upon return. This is not violence, it is desperation, a plea not to be abandoned. The bite, then, is less about the teeth and more about the emotion driving them. And here lies the key: instead of asking, "Why did my dog bite me?" ask, "What feeling was my dog trying to show me?" Behind every nip is a story: love, stress, joy, or sorrow. When you begin to see the bite as emotion translated into action, you stop fearing it and start listening. And that listening changes everything. Number 11. Biting during play. Excitement bites versus redirected aggression. Playtime is supposed to be joy. You toss a toy, Your dog's eyes widen, pause, spring teeth flash, and suddenly nip. It shocks you, maybe even stings, but to your dog, it's not cruelty. It's adrenaline turned into action. This is the excitement bite, the echo of the hunt that still lives inside them. When the game ignites their instincts, your moving hand or arm sometimes becomes part of the chase. And yet, there's another twist. Sometimes the bite has nothing to do with the toy at all. Picture your dog staring out the window at a squirrel it can't reach. The body stiffens, the tail whips, the breath quickens, and then you walk by. In an instant, the frustration spills over, redirected onto you with a sharp bite. Not because you are the enemy, but because you are near when their emotions overflow. Both forms of biting excitement and redirection are not signs of hatred. They are the storm breaking through. And the secret is redirection in return, giving them toys, outlets, safe spaces to release what cannot be contained. Understanding this transforms play from chaos into connection. Number 12. Health-related bites. Pain signals from dental issues, joints, or sensitive areas. Not every bite comes from emotion or play. Sometimes it is the body itself that speaks through teeth. Dogs are masters at hiding pain, but no creature can hide forever. A dog with aching gums may flinch, growl, or bite when your hand brushes near the mouth. A dog with stiff hips or aching joints may snap when lifted or stroked along the spine. To the unknowing owner, it feels like betrayal. In truth, it is a plea. That hurts. Please don't. Imagine wearing armor of silence, unable to point to the wound. For dogs, the bite becomes the only arrow that finds its target. Dental disease, arthritis, even digestive discomfort, all can show themselves in a sudden nip. And here's where your role becomes vital. Don't dismiss it as bad behavior. See it as evidence. Keep track, notice patterns, and bring them to the vet. In those small signals, you hold the chance to uncover hidden suffering before it grows. The bite that seems like rejection may actually be the first step to healing, if only you're willing to listen. Number 13. Stress-induced biting. Changes in environment or routine. Dogs are creatures of habit. A moved piece of furniture, a strange scent on your clothes, a new voice echoing through the hallway. These shifts ripple through them like stones dropped into still water. Stress doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, building slowly, until the pressure overflows in the sharp punctuation of a bite. Picture your dog panting in the night after a loud thunderstorm or nipping at your sleeve after a week of shorter walks. It's not defiance, it's displacement. The bite says, "My world has changed, and I don't know where safety is." Unlike anger, this bite is softer but insistent, a plea for balance. And here lies the paradox. What seems like aggression is often a cry for stability. To soothe it, you don't need force. You need routine, patience, and reassurance. Think of your dog as a compass. Spun too fast, it bites not to hurt, but to point back toward calm. Once you restore rhythm, the teeth retreat, replaced again by trust. The question is not, "Why is my dog biting?" but what in their world has shifted. Number 14. When biting signals illness. Sudden changes as red flags. One of the most overlooked truths is this: sudden biting behavior, especially from a dog who never bit before, can be a red flag of illness. It could be thyroid imbalance, digestive pain, neurological disorder, or hidden infection. Dogs bound by instincts to mask weakness rarely show sickness directly. But when pain presses too hard, their language changes. A once gentle companion may nip when touched in certain places. A playful dog may grow restless, biting more often as if trying to push discomfort out through its teeth. It's easy to scold, to assume misbehavior. But what if that sudden bite is the body whispering, "Something is wrong inside"? Think of it as a smoke alarm. You may not see the fire, but the warning is there. Ignore it, and the flames grow unseen. Listen, and you may save not only trust, but life itself. This is where owners become detectives reading behavior as evidence. When biting shifts in frequency, intensity, or context, don't brush it aside. Investigate. For in those teeth lies the truth your dog cannot speak aloud. Number 15. Never punish the bite. Treat it as communication, not aggression. Here is where many owners make the gravest mistake. A bite comes, and the hand reacts in anger, yelling, shoving, punishing. But punishment does not solve. It silences. And silence is dangerous. When you punish a dog for biting, you don't erase the reason. You only bury it. The fear grows, the trust erodes, and the bite returns stronger, hidden, until it cannot be ignored. Think of communication between friends. If one shouts their pain, and you strike them quiet, have you healed anything? Or have you taught them to suffer in silence? The same is true for dogs. The bite is not rebellion. It is honesty. To punish it is to close the very door through which your dog speaks. Instead, step back. Ask, what was this bite trying to tell me? Approach with curiosity, not fury. This shift changes everything. The bite becomes less a weapon and more a messenger. And in honoring the message, you don't just avoid harm, you build trust. The kind of trust that makes future bites unnecessary, replaced by calmer signals that only love can teach. Number 16. Turning bites into bridges, from confusion to deeper trust. Most owners see a bite and recoil. It feels like a wall suddenly thrown up between you and your dog. But what if that wall is actually a bridge misunderstood in the moment, when you stop fearing the bite and start asking what it means? Something shifts. The sharp sting becomes a doorway into trust. Every nip, every graze of teeth is an invitation to look closer, to pay attention. Your dog is not trying to break the bond, they're trying to strengthen it by being honest. Think of it as decoding a secret language. At first it feels foreign, strange, even harsh. But with each translation, the message softens, becoming clearer. The bite says, "I trust you enough to show my limit," or "I want you near, but not this way." And when you respond not with anger, but with understanding, that bond grows roots. It is in this exchange, bite for awareness, awareness for trust, that the relationship deepens. What once was confusion becomes connection, and what was once pain becomes proof that your dog sees you as safe enough to speak to. Number 17. Love bites, the purest form of canine affection. Imagine sitting quietly, lost in thought, when your dog climbs beside you. Their eyes soften, their body relaxes, and then almost playfully, their teeth touch your hand. It's gentle, controlled, almost tender. This is not aggression, it's affection in its rawest form. Among dogs, these gentle nips are a ritual of love, a carryover from puppyhood when siblings licked and bit each other in play. To be given a love bite is to be included in that sacred circle, to be seen not just as a provider, but as family. Ethologists call it inhibited biting, but to your dog it is simpler, it is intimacy. They are saying, "You are mine, and I am yours." The paradox of teeth used for tenderness is one of the deepest mysteries of the canine heart. And if you've ever felt that nibble followed by a lick, you've touched the secret handshake of trust. Not every dog shows affection this way, but for those who do, it's an honor. Because a love bite is not random, it's a declaration, a vow that you are part of their pack. And once you see it that way, even teeth become beautiful. Number 18. How to tell affection bites from warning bites. Body language comparison. Here's where many owners stumble confusing affection with irritation. The difference lies not in the teeth, but in the body that surrounds them. A love bite is cushioned by softness, ears, relaxed eyes, half-closed tail wagging lazily. The body says, "I am safe, I am calm." A warning bite, though, is written in tension, ears pinned, body stiff, tail flicking with urgency. The difference is night and day, if only you know to look. Think of it as reading two different poems. One whispers warmth, the other shouts boundary. But when we fail to read the cues, we confuse love with anger or anger with love, and the bond suffers. The secret is observation. Look not only at the bite, but at the story it lives inside. When you learn to read that story, you'll never misinterpret again. And here's the beauty. Once you can tell the difference, you unlock safety and trust. You can lean into the affection bites and respectfully pause when warned. In both cases, your dog feels heard. And a dog that feels understood becomes a dog that loves without reservation. That is the power of listening beyond the teeth. Number 19. Inhibited biting as proof of trust. Choosing not to hurt you. Every dog has power in its jaws, more than most owners realize. Yet when your dog places teeth on your skin and does not break it, something profound is happening. They are holding back. They are choosing restraint. This is inhibited biting, and it is one of the clearest signs of trust. Think of a warrior laying down his sword at your feet, not because he lacks the skill to use it, but because he chooses peace with you. Your dog's teeth are their sword, and when they soften the blow, they are saying, "I could hurt you, but I never will." That choice is not instinct alone. It is a bond built over time. Puppies learn inhibition with siblings bite too hard, and the game stops. Bite gently, and the fun continues. With humans, the lesson deepens. Restraint becomes love. The irony is that what looks like danger is often proof of safety. For in the softness of those jaws lies a trust unspoken. And once you recognize it, you'll never fear the touch of teeth again. Instead, you'll see it as your dog's quiet promise of loyalty. Number 20. The lick-bite-lick ritual, a playful sign of belonging. There's a rhythm some owners notice but few understand. Lick-bite-lick. It feels strange at first. Why break the tenderness of grooming with teeth? But in a dog's world, this is the music of belonging. Among littermates, licking is comfort, bonding, the gentle cleaning of one another's fur. And then, suddenly, a bite, a pause, a reset, a playful punctuation. When your dog does this to you, it is not confusion. It is replication. They are treating you as they would a sibling, weaving you into the same ritual of affection. The bite here is never harsh, always controlled, as if reminding you, "I love you, but I am still a dog." The lick soothes, the bite interrupts, the lick returns to reassure. It is their way of saying, "You are part of me, woven into my habits, my history, my instinct." Many dismiss it as odd, but if you watch closely, you'll see the joy in it, the tail wag, the closeness, the choice to stay pressed against you. This is not an attack. It is family made visible, written in a pattern as old as the pack itself. When we look at a dog's bite only as danger, we miss the truth that lies beneath. Every nip, every graze of teeth is a word, in a language older than speech. Sometimes it is love, sometimes it is warning, sometimes it is pain, but it is always communication. And the more we learn to listen, the deeper our bond becomes. Your dog is not just a pet. They are a guardian of your heart, a mirror of your emotions, a soul who chooses you every single day. Even their teeth, so often feared, can become a bridge, a reminder that trust is built not in silence, but in honesty. So the next time your dog bites, pause. Don't see it as betrayal. See it as a conversation, an invitation to understand. Because once you do, you will never look at your dog the same way again. You will see not just an animal, but a partner whispering, "I trust you enough to show you who I am." If this video helped you see your dog in a new light, make sure to hit subscribe and join our community of dog lovers. Together, let's build a world where every bark, every wag, and yes, even every bite is finally understood. Have you ever noticed your dog stretching the moment they see you? You step inside, and suddenly they drop into that silly little pose, front legs stretched out, tail lifted high. It might look like a normal post-nap stretch, and that's what most people think. But that's not what it really is. It's actually one of the most heartfelt signals your dog sends, and chances are you've been missing it. In this video, we're going to explore what that stretch really means, and dive into 15 other surprising ways your dog communicates their feelings. If you've ever felt like your dog was trying to tell you something, and if that bond means the world to you, this is a message you don't want to miss. Let's start with something that might seem odd at first, but reveals more about your dog's love than you ever expected. Number 1. The foot licker. It might seem a little strange, even a bit gross, when your dog licks your feet, but for them, it's not about the sweat, the socks, or even the smell. It's about you. Your dog is performing what's best described as a wellness scan, using not just their tongue, but a powerful organ called Jacobson's organ, a kind of emotional radar hidden deep inside their nose. Through taste and scent, they gather clues where you've been, how stressed you are, whether your heart is heavy or light. And when your dog lingers on your feet longer than usual, they're picking up on something you haven't said out loud. Tension, worry, maybe even sadness. So what do? They lick. Soft, steady, rhythmic. It's not a habit, it's therapy. Your dog is absorbing your mood like a sponge and trying in their own gentle way to ease your pain. They're part emotional radar, part silent therapist, licking away the weight you didn't know you were carrying. It's their version of hugging you tight without arms. And if they could speak, they'd probably say, "I feel it too. But I'm here." And that's just the beginning. Because the way your dog watches over you, especially in the most unexpected places, reveals a kind of loyalty that runs deeper than most people ever notice. Number 2. The bathroom bodyguard. You close the bathroom door hoping for a minute of privacy. But before you can even sit down there, they are staring at you from the threshold. Tail still, eyes steady, refusing to leave. It feels odd, maybe even intrusive. But to your dog, it's instinct. It's protection. In their world, a closed door isn't privacy, it's a potential threat. Dogs are pack animals wired for watchfulness. In the wild, no one is ever truly alone, especially in vulnerable moments. So when you vanish behind a door, they follow. Not to invade, but to guard. Their silent presence says one thing: you're not alone. I'm here to watch over you. And they'll sit there, patient and still like a tiny four-legged sentinel on duty. It's not about being nosy, it's about being responsible for you. Even in the quietest, most mundane parts of your day, your dog sees a chance to protect what they love most. To them, it's not weird. It's love in its purest form, alert, steady, and completely selfless. They'd rather be uncomfortable than leave you unguarded, because in their eyes, your safety is everything. But what if the way they tilt their head, that cute, curious lean, was more than just cuteness? What if it was another clue to how deeply they're tuned into you? Number 3. The head tilt. It's the move that melts your heart, that slow, thoughtful tilt to one side when you speak. It looks adorable, almost theatrical. But to your dog, it's not a performance. It's concentration. When they tilt their head, they're not trying to charm you. They're trying to understand you. Dogs are acoustic detectives. Their ears, their posture, even the direction of that tilt, all are finely tuned to decode your voice. Research shows dogs often tilt left when processing emotion and right when focusing on commands. So that little head movement, it's a signal that they're tuning in to both your words and your feelings. Imagine trying to learn a foreign language with only tone and body language as clues. That's your dog every time you speak. The tilt is their way of saying, "I'm listening." Not just to what you say, but how you say it. They're matching your voice to memories, trying to predict what happens next. Whether it's playtime, a walk, or just a cuddle, they want to get it right. Because to them, your voice is the center of their universe. And that small sideways lean, it's proof they're not just hearing you, they're feeling you. But sometimes your dog doesn't tilt or bark or move at all. Sometimes they just sit beside you and let out a long, deep sigh. And when they do, it means more than you might think. Number 4. The deep sigh. It's late. The house is quiet. You're sitting still, and beside you, your dog lets out a long, slow exhale. Not a yawn, not a huff, a sigh, deep and deliberate. It sounds like nothing, but in your dog's world, it's everything. Because a sigh isn't just about air leaving the lungs, it's emotion leaving the heart. When your dog sighs while resting near you, it's not boredom. It's release. It's their way of saying, "I feel safe now." That breath carries the weight of the day, the noises they heard, the moods they sensed, the movements they tracked. And when you're home, when the rhythm of your voice and your scent settles into the room, their body knows it's time to relax. So they do the only thing they can, they breathe it out. But sighs aren't always peaceful. Sometimes they come when something feels off. A sharp sound outside. A subtle tension in the room. In those moments, a sigh can mean I'm alert. But I've got this. Dogs use sighs the way we use silence to speak without speaking. And the most touching sigh of all, the one they give when you return after time apart. That exhale isn't just breath. It's a homecoming. It's the reset of a heart that waited, watched, and finally feels whole again. But sometimes they don't sigh or sit. Sometimes they stretch right as you walk through the door. And that stretch, it might say more than any bark ever could. Number 5. The toy gift. You're sipping coffee or reading a book and suddenly, there it is. A soggy toy dropped at your feet. Maybe it's a chewed-up ball, a frayed rope, or their favorite squeaky dinosaur. At first glance, it feels like an invitation to play. But look closer. This moment is deeper than playtime. It's a gift. A heartfelt offering from a heart that doesn't have words. When your dog brings you a toy, especially one they treasure, they're saying something few humans ever truly understand. This makes me happy. But you matter more. In the wild, sharing resources, food, space, shelter is an act of loyalty and love. Your dog's toy might not seem valuable to you, but to them, it's priceless. And they're offering it up, not just to play, but to connect. Even more touching, when they bring you things you never asked for: socks, shoes, the remote. They're not being naughty. They're trying to contribute to the pack, to help, to say, "Look, I found something useful. I'm doing my part." It's their way of building family, of being more than a pet. They want to matter. They want to serve. And in that simple, slobbery gesture, they're reminding you love is not just shown, it's shared. But what happens when they turn away from you? Not out of anger, but in stillness. That too carries a message, one of trust deeper than words. Number 6. The back turn. It's one of those quiet moments. Your dog walks up, sits nearby, and then turns their back to you. No eye contact, no licking, no obvious gesture of affection. You might wonder, are they upset, ignoring you? But what feels like distance is actually the opposite. This is trust in its most unguarded form. In the wild, turning your back exposes the softest, most vulnerable parts of the body. It means surrender, safety, belief that no threat is near. So when your dog chooses to sit with their back to you, they're offering you a silent, sacred message. I trust you with everything I've got. It's a compliment not spoken in words, but in body language. They're saying, you're my shield. I don't have to watch you. I can rest, because you've got me. And in that stillness, in that simple turn of the spine, is a deeper kind of love. The kind that doesn't need attention. Just presence. The next time it happens, don't call them over or beg for a cuddle. Just reach out gently. Rest your hand on their back. That small touch, it says, and I've got you too. But loyalty doesn't always look like quiet trust. Sometimes it looks like bedtime, and the places they choose to sleep can tell you more about their heart than you might ever expect. Number 7. The protective sleep. Night falls. The world quiets. And as you drift off, you feel it, the soft pressure of a warm body leaning against you, or the sound of gentle breathing close by. Your dog isn't just sleeping, they're positioning. Every place they choose to rest holds meaning, and none of it is random. When they press against your side, they're saying, you're my safe place. That contact is more than comfort, it's protection. If they sleep facing the door, they're not just lounging. They're guarding, taking watch. Their senses never truly shut off, and in their mind, your safety is always a priority, even while they rest. But the most intimate sign of all, when your dog turns their back to you while sleeping. It's not distance. It's vulnerability. It's their way of saying, I trust you to protect me while I sleep. In the language of dogs, this is as tender as resting your head on someone's shoulder. And if they nuzzle into your pillow or curl into the space where you just were, they're not just chasing warmth. They're chasing you, your scent, your presence, your love, all wrapped into one soft landing spot. But sometimes when love overflows, your dog can't sit still or lie down. Instead, when they see you, they stretch. And that stretch, it's not about muscles, it's about you. Number 8. The welcome stretch. You walk through the door, and there it is. Front legs stretched far forward, chest low to the ground, tail high and wagging in the air like a little flag of joy. It looks like yoga. It looks like a stretch. But in truth, it's an invitation, a celebration, a love letter written in body language. This pose is known as a play bow, and in the dog world, it's a powerful symbol. It's how they say, I'm happy you're here. I want to connect. It's not about physical flexibility. It's emotional vulnerability. Your dog isn't stretching their muscles. They're stretching their heart toward you. Think about it. They don't do this when they're alone. They don't drop into this silly, joyful posture for just anyone. They save it for you. And when they do, they're not just asking to play. They're asking for attention, recognition, affection. They're saying, you're the best part of my day. If you brush it off or walk past without noticing, they may not show disappointment. But they feel it. Just 30 seconds of eye contact, a scratch behind the ears, or tossing a toy their way, says everything. I missed you too. And when love is that honest, that physical, that pure, it deserves a response. But not all affection is shown in full view. Sometimes it hides in stolen moments, and yes, even in missing socks. Number 9. The sock thief. It starts with a missing sock, then a second. Maybe your favorite t-shirt mysteriously ends up in your dog's bed. At first it feels like mischief, a silly game of hide and seek. But what if it's not rebellion, but remembrance? Your scent is your signature. To your dog, it's more than smell. It's identity, safety, home. And the items you wear closest to your skin, those hold the deepest concentration of you. So when your dog steals your sock or sleeps curled around your sweater, they're not being bad. They're building a nest of comfort, woven together with the scent of the person they love most. While you're away, these objects become their lifeline, a way to keep you close even when you're far. They drag your sock to their bed, not to destroy it, but to keep you, to wrap themselves in a whisper of your presence. It's not destruction, it's devotion, a quiet act of longing disguised as playful theft. And the next time you find a shoe in their crate or a towel under their paw, take a moment. That's not mess, that's memory. But sometimes they don't want to be near your scent, they want to be near you, right in your path, even if that means lying across the doorway like a furry little guardian on duty. Number 10. The doorway blocker. You're walking from room to room, and there they are sprawled right in the middle of the hallway, stretched across the threshold like a sleepy little speed bump. You step over them, maybe grumble a bit. It seems like laziness. In the way again. But this isn't about convenience. It's about commitment. To your dog, doorways are not just places of movement. They are points of transition, of change. And change in their world must be watched. By lying there, they're not trying to block your path. They're guarding it, positioning themselves in the one spot where they can see everything, follow everyone, and react to anything. It's strategy wrapped in stillness. They're not sleeping. They're stationed, ready to follow, to lead, or to protect, whichever you need first. And there's something else. That spot lets them stay close to you. No matter which direction you move, they're already halfway there. It's not clinginess, it's presence, quiet loyalty that never asks, only waits. The next time you almost trip over them, remember this. They're not in your way. They're beside you in the only way they know how. But what if I told you, even when they're not looking at you, they're reading you, watching you with something stronger than sight, something that starts with the eyes but ends in the heart. Number 11. Blinking intentionally. You catch their gaze across the room. Your dog looks at you, then slowly blinks. It's brief quiet, almost too subtle to notice. But in the silent world of dogs, that blink is not random. It's a message. In the wild, prolonged eye contact signals challenge or threat. But a soft blink, that's the opposite. It's peace. It's trust. A blink says, I see you. I feel safe. Scientists have found that dogs use slow blinking just like cats as a nonverbal sign of affection. It's their way of telling you, I'm calm, I'm okay, and I know you are too. It's like a whispered, I love you, wrapped in stillness. And if you blink back slowly, you're speaking their language, giving them the same comfort in return. What's even more powerful, your dog might use blinking to reassure you. They've seen your body stiffen, your voice falter, your energy change, and so they soften their gaze, hoping you'll follow. So the next time your dog catches your eye, don't look away. Meet them in that quiet space. Blink gently. Let that invisible thread of connection tighten, even for just a second. But the eyes aren't the only place dogs show emotion. Sometimes it's in a yawn, a lick of the lips, tiny gestures that seem like nothing, until you realize what they're trying to calm isn't themselves, it's you. Number 12. Lip licking and yawning. It happens in passing. A quick flick of the tongue over the nose, a yawn that doesn't match the time of day. No sound, no bark, no tail wag. Just a quiet, almost invisible signal. But for your dog, these gestures speak volumes. Dogs use what behaviorists call calming signals, subtle actions that communicate peace, unease, or a desire to diffuse tension. Lip licking, for instance, isn't always about hunger. It's their way of saying, "I'm okay." Are you? And that mid-afternoon yawn, it's not about sleep. It's a release. A gentle way to soothe themselves or to calm you. You might notice it when voices get louder, or when routines shift. Maybe when you're upset, rushing, or even just thinking too hard. Your dog watches you closely, senses the change, and sends out a signal wrapped in silence. It's their emotional thermostat, reading the room, adjusting the energy. You won't find these messages in training books or dog shows. They happen in the quiet corners, the spaces where your dog becomes your emotional mirror. And if you respond with stillness, soft words, or even just eye contact, you're saying, "Message received." But what if your dog's tail, that ever-wagging flag of emotion, was telling an even more complicated story? What if not every wag meant joy, and some meant something else entirely? Number 13. Subtle tail wag nuances. We often treat the wagging tail like a simple switch. Moving means happy, still means sad. But for dogs, the tail is no blunt instrument. It's a fine-tuned emotional instrument, a brush painting invisible emotions in the air. Yes, a broad, loose wag often signals joy, but not all tail wags are created equal. The height, speed, stiffness, even the direction all carry meaning. A high, stiff wag might mean alertness or uncertainty. A low, quick flick might suggest nervousness, and the one most people never notice. The asymmetrical wag, where the tail curves slightly more to the right or left, depending on how they feel. Science has shown that dogs wag more to the right when they feel positive towards someone, and more to the left when unsure or anxious. That's not folklore, that's neurology. So when your dog greets you at the door with a big, sweeping, right-biased wag, they're not just happy, they're sure of you. And when that wag lowers, tightens, or slows, they're processing, deciding, perhaps even hoping for reassurance. Their tail speaks when they can't. It's their way of narrating every moment between you, whether it's celebration, concern, or quiet confusion. And while the tail tells a story behind them, what happens when they lean their full weight against you? That pressure, that stillness, that might be the closest thing they have to saying, "I love you." Number 14. Leaning against you. You're standing at the kitchen counter or sitting on the couch, and without a sound, your dog presses their body into your leg. No bark, no paw, raise, just gentle, persistent weight. It may feel casual. It's not. It's connection, a full-body embrace without arms. When your dog leans on you, they're not being lazy or clingy. They're grounding themselves. In your warmth, your scent, your presence. In that moment, you are the safest place they know. Their anchor, their shelter. In the wild, dogs lean into each other during rest, during fear, during bonding. It's instinct. It's comfort written in touch. And when they do it to you, they're folding you into that primal language. They're saying, "I'm here because I trust you." Or sometimes, "I'm here because I need you." Some dogs do it during storms. Others, when you're distracted or down. It's their way of stepping into your space, not to demand, but to remind that you're not alone, that they're with you, not just beside you, but leaning into your life. And the next time it happens, don't move away. Let the weight settle. Let it speak. But affection doesn't always come through stillness. Sometimes it's hidden in bursts of energy like a sneeze. A sneeze not caused by dust, but by joy. Number 15. Play sneezing. You toss the ball. They chase it with full-speed joy. And just as they turn back mid-bounce, there it is, a sudden, exaggerated sneeze. Not once, but maybe twice. No dust, no allergies. Just a burst of air and sound that seems oddly timed. But to your dog, this isn't random. It's communication. It's their version of a laugh. Dogs sneeze during play to send a clear message. This is fun. I'm not a threat. It's a disarming signal, like a child giggling during a game of tag. That quick puff of air, often paired with bouncy movements and loose body language, is how they keep things light. Even in the middle of mock battles or wild zoomies, they're reminding you and other dogs that it's all in good fun. This sneeze isn't a reflex. It's a social tool, a punctuation mark on joy. And the fact that they use it with you means you're part of their trusted circle, their playmate, their pack. So the next time your dog lets out a big goofy sneeze, mid-play, don't dismiss it. Smile. Because what they're really saying is, this moment, it's everything. And as playful as they are in the moment, every signal they give, from the blink of an eye to the weight of a lean, is their way of holding a mirror up to your heart. Maybe you've always thought your dog was just being silly, just stretching, just sighing, just licking your feet or stealing your socks. But now you know better. Every tiny gesture, every blink, lean, sneeze, or sigh is a word in the language of love they've been speaking all along. The beauty of dogs is that they don't hide how they feel. They don't play games. They love out loud, not with voices, but with bodies. And when you learn to see the messages behind their movements, your relationship changes. You stop guessing. You start knowing. Because to your dog, you're more than a person. You're their compass, their calm, their entire world. So the next time they greet you with a stretch or place their back gently against yours, remember this. They're not just being dogs. They're saying, I choose you. Still. Always. If this video helped you see your dog a little differently, with more warmth, more wonder, consider subscribing. We create videos that dive deep into the quiet ways our pets speak love, loyalty, and healing. And we'd be honored to have you and your dog as part of our growing family. Because every moment with them matters. And sometimes, the smallest signs carry the loudest love.